Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. If you're ready to take on your next paying clients, I have good news. My free 4 Basics of Client Attraction and How to Stand Out class is live at haileyrowe.com/client-attraction. In the class, you're going to learn the top 2 traits I recommend for most coaches and entrepreneurs if they really want to turn this into a career. You're going to learn how you can build demand for your services and stop getting crickets on your posts. You're going to learn the sales roadmap I used to improve my sales conversion rate and help my clients do the same. And you're going to learn so much more. So go to haileyrowe.com/client-attraction and get your copy of the class today.
Look like meaning, are you going to do private coaching? Are you going to do group coaching? Should you have a course? Should you have a mastermind? Like, how do you decide what you should offer people and what is going to be selling and what do people want? Because too often I see coaches and service providers decide their offer based on what they feel like doing, what they think might be easier. And the truth is, you can't really make that decision without having a criteria or understanding the different types of offers and where they would fit in your business model. Like, this should be a strategic decision, of course. Now, I am in the belief that you do have to start making offers and putting yourself out there before you feel fully ready. And I am of the belief that you shouldn't be a perfectionist and, wait to, get out there until you have an entire course library made or anything like that. I think that you should get out there. I think you should make offers. I think you should try and experiment with different things. But I also think you shouldn't just decide what kind of offer you want to do just because it'd be easier for you, or just because you see other people doing it, or just because you think it'd be cool. Like, we do want to look at, what do I think my audience would get the most value from and get the best results from? What am I the most qualified and experienced to do? And, where do I feel the most confident delivering my service or over delivering my service first, and using some criteria to make this decision. So what we're going to do today in this video is just talk about the different types of offers you could think about. And then when it comes to actually strategically deciding this, if you're looking for more support or you have gathered some feedback from your audience or things like that, and you want to take the next steps, feel free to reach out, because this is something I do all the time with my clients, is creating their business model, creating their offerings. And as the new year comes up, it's a very exciting time to be planning a launch or to be, putting together something for your audience, because a lot of times at the new year, they're very motivated and they want to take action on their goals, and it's a great time of year for coaches. So the first type of offer we're going to talk about is private coaching. And with private coaching, what that really is you deciding, are you going to be the kind of coach who is a commodity, meaning you are picking to go the traditional route of coaching where you maybe charge for a session, it's $1 per hour mindset. It's like, I'm going to do single sessions for $150 a session. And a lot of coaches do this, and a lot of coaches get their start that way. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it's a harder business model to sustain for a couple of reasons. One, you are going to max out on clients. And 2, you are always going to be compared to other coaches just charging dollars per hour, instead of being seen and having an offer that's like a transformational program. Like a transformational program or coaching program that's 3 months or 6 months or longer term to take somebody to a certain result or goal, and something that's more comprehensive than just single sessions, that tends to be more sustainable. It tends to get your clients better results. It tends to get them more excited and showing up more. It gets you better testimonials and case studies because you're taking somebody through a whole journey. And it separates you. It allows you to have your own, framework or path for clients to go through that helps you stand out and not be seen as someone who charges dollars per hour, someone who is seen for charging for a program or a service that creates a certain outcome, which people are willing to pay more for than just single sessions. So if you're choosing the single session route, again, there's nothing wrong with that to get your start. However, it is going to be something where they're always going to be comparing you to the other life coach charging dollars per hour too. And they're just going to probably go with the cheapest one or the one that they feel is the best fit, but you're always like up against that competition, right? So that's the first thing. And I do want to add the caveat though, that the best offer to pick when I'm going through these offers is the one that you feel the most convicted about, excited about, like confident in, like totally that you are just, this is the best offer ever. And you want to over deliver, pick that one because you're going to sell it better. But do consider these things and sell yourself on the offer that's going to make the most sense for your business model and your clients, right? So that's the first thing is you can do single sessions, or with private coaching, you can create what we call like your own signature program or your own transformational program. And I think a lot of people, when they hear this, they get very intimidated because they think that means I got to go make an entire course to go with my coaching. I got to go make 10,000 different worksheets and workbooks for my clients. But the truth is, this offer should not just be about stuff. This offer is about what is my target audience? What problems or goals do they want to pay to solve right now in their life? And what's tripping them up the most? And how can I create an offer that delivers or gets as close, everything within my control, gets them as close as I possibly can to getting that result, to removing inconveniences along the way, to shortening the time it takes them to get to that goal, either through making it easier for them by giving them the exact steps or giving them resources to complement our coaching or things like that. And does it in a way that, you know, is a way that they like the vehicle to get there isn't going to be a process they hate or that is not sustainable, things like that. So those are all things to consider when creating your own signature program or offer. Now, what people say to me is, but Hailey, coaching is helping the client find the answers within themselves. And my answer to that is yes, you can have a transformational program that is focused on helping your ideal clients find answers within themselves to get to a certain goal or focused on a certain goal that they have. And you can personalize it based on whatever transformation they want. So you can customize your 3-month or 6-month program or package in the beginning of your business per client, or you can have kind of a general idea of what your people typically want and what your niche usually struggles with, and have a backbone to your program that communicates the typical phases that clients move through, the typical, framework that you've seen work for yourself or your clients, and the customize the framework, meaning the topics you work on within each section of the framework to the client you're talking to, and or have it all figured out and offer it to the same niche, right? So there's a way to combine coaching and the skill of coaching with a program. So in other words, in my inner circle, first of all, I call myself a coach and a strategist or consultant. So I'm never saying I am only a coach, because that's not true, because I do coach my clients on strategy. I teach them things. So I'm not always just expecting them to have the answers about how to, set up their email funnel or things like that. I actually teach them or show them or give them webinar template examples or whatever. So I first just give the debrief to people that I'm both a coach and a strategist. So if you want to do that too in your program, you can call yourself a coach and whatever else you do, a consultant or advisor or whatever it is that you're going to be doing if you are going to be teaching them some things. Okay? So first you got to decide that. Second, you got to decide, okay, I'm going to coach them in our live private calls, but then in addition to that, you may have, as I was saying before, when you're evaluating the different parts of your program creation, like what kind of result do they want, what will get them there faster, what will make it easier, what will make them not hate the process. As you go through those questions, you may come up with resources you think you need, or maybe a guest, person in your coaching package where they have a guest session with someone who does something that you don't do, that you don't help with, and that needs to be included for them to get the result that they want. Or maybe you have a community aspect because they succeed more with accountability or something like that. So you get to decide what this program looks like and what the initial version of this program looks like. And it may look different for your first clients than your clients 3 years from now, right? This is allowed to evolve. You don't have to create every single resource or guidebook or worksheet that you think your clients need, because chances are when you get your first clients, they are going to tell you exactly what they need. And you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I've been repeating myself 7 times about the same thing. And then you're going to start to make things or, add that to your framework or your process or something like that. So my advice to you is come up with what you can first by yourself. But then as you start to work with clients, be open and willing and ready to add to it, to evolve, to make it the best experience ever for your first clients. Like really taking their feedback and doing it with them through the process. And maybe that's why when you get your first clients, you might have what we call like a beta rate or a founder's rate or something like that, because you want to create it with the clients as you go. If you're going to do that, you could have some kind of offer like that. So my point here with the signature program is that it might be something that evolves over time, number one. Number two, do think about how you can make it more than just dollars per session, more than just sessions. That is not what we're selling. What we want to be selling is what kind of outcomes or benefits do they want? How do we do it faster and better and easier? How do we do it in a way that they don't hate? And whatever other values you want to install into your program is what's going to help you stand out and differentiate yourself compared to someone else just selling dollars per session. So that's the first thing, is that private coaching offer and deciding if you're going to do single sessions or you're going to do a program. That's one option out of many options of different offers you could do. Another type of offer or business model is having a membership. Now, this has been coming up a lot lately. I think just memberships have become like this trendy thing. And I will tell you, I've been in business fully, even before this I was in business, but like fully since 2017. And I did not start a membership until 2 years ago-ish. We're coming up on 2 years, I think, in March. Maybe it has been 2 years. I don't know, but it's been more recent. It was not something I started out with. And I can tell you firsthand that I have learned that having a membership is marketing to a totally different avatar than someone who buys private coaching. And it's something that, in my opinion, is something you should add to your business later as opposed to start your business with. So just because you think having a membership would be easy because it could be cheaper and you could just have fun doing trainings and you can make a community and all these things, and you think it might just be easier on you than private coaching, I will tell you it's not, okay? Because with a membership, you have to constantly be reselling every month why they want to stay in the membership, why it's so amazing. And there's high churn sometimes in memberships. Like if you listen to Stu McLaren, I think some of the stats are like X% of people leave after 3 months. And so you have to be creatively thinking constantly about, how do I add rewards for them for staying every month? How do I keep reselling them to renew every single month? And you have to have a high volume of people going through your funnel, because usually memberships are less than private one-on-one attention, right? So usually the price point is less. Mine is $97 a month. And so for me to, work with 100 members, that's a lot of managing, of onboarding, of making sure they all have their logins and their materials, of checking in with people. Like that's a lot compared to being able to give my all and my attention and my focus and my over delivery to my private clients. And so I now am at a place in my business where I can handle that. I have systems and I know, what my membership involves, and I know what's included, and I've nailed out the details, and a scalable thing, and it's fun, and people really like it. And I've had clients in it for over a year, which is really fun. And it's very rewarding. But I didn't get to that point until I had I have everything unlocked, like my private coaching program. I know what my clients need. I have my group program that's been running like very smoothly for a while. So I did not add this until I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what my clients need. I know what avatar this is marketed to versus my other programs, things like that. So if you're a new business owner, you can start a membership. I'm not saying you can't, but it's, in my opinion, the effort it involves is something where I would suggest it being more of a later on downsell or add-on, as opposed to something you start with, especially if you have a small audience. If you have a huge audience and a huge email list, and you've been an influencer and now you're deciding to start your own membership or something, okay, maybe it would be a good thing for you, but most of the time, it's the same amount or more work than marketing private coaching for less ROI, and also for less, with your clients, they're not getting as much hands-on attention either. So that is my thoughts on the membership. I think it's something that may come later in your business, but usually what a membership is it something that's monthly recurring revenue and monthly recurring service that you do. That includes either, maybe you have like a live group call, maybe you have a community for the membership where people can keep each other accountable and network or something, or, befriend other people in the membership. Maybe you have resources each month, or a theme each month, or a challenge each month that everybody is focused on together, things like that. So, and it's a content machine. Having a membership, you're going to have to be making probably a lot of new content regularly for your clients. So that's another reason why I don't really recommend it until you've already established a lot of content from your other offerings and you know what your audience wants and needs. Okay, now the next type of offer is group coaching. So group coaching is where you may have, so let me just differentiate group coaching and private coaching. Private coaching, what's so cool about it when you're starting out is you can have a framework, you can have phases of your process, you can have a process or roadmap or blueprint or whatever that you usually take clients through to get an end result. However, being a private coach allows you to have so much flexibility in how you adapt that or which parts of your framework you focus on with certain clients. It gives you a lot of adaptability power when you're, hearing what your audience needs and wants. You are going to be able to, for your private clients, pretty much do whatever they need and customize your process based on what they need. With group coaching, you typically want to have your process really nailed down, and private coaching allows you to learn what your process is and get that experience and become a really amazing coach and service provider. And then what tends to happen is you tend to have your group program kind of already created for you at a certain point. Once you've coached a certain amount of private clients, you're like, wow, I really see how a group program would work for me and my clients, because everybody tends to, hit this obstacle or have this goal, and here's what I've created around that, and here's our process for that, and it becomes a group program. So with a group program, what's cool about it also is that it's scalable, and typically it's something where everybody has a similar goal or outcome that they want to achieve, and you have broken down like step by step in a group program what everybody typically focuses on. Sometimes they all move through it together, like everybody starts at the same time and ends at the same time. Other times it can be something that's open enrollment, where maybe you have an onboarding call with someone and get them their first steps, and then after that they start moving through the regular curriculum or something and bringing their questions to group calls and things like that. Sometimes you may have group trainings where everybody's focused on the same thing for the week, or you're doing it in real time with them, or you pre-record it. So it's this kind of offer where everybody has a goal or outcome that they want to achieve, and you are taking them there every week. And sometimes it's as a group community all on the same week at the same time, and other times it's open enrollment, and you have people bring their questions and everybody gets coached and all that kind of stuff. So The thing about this is usually it requires that you're really you've honed your skills to be able to coach people and make it relevant for everybody else on the call. And it also requires great leadership skills, meaning you got to be able to read the room, you got to be able to adapt on the spot, you got to be able to coach on the spot, you got to be able to handle a lot of different questions from a lot of different people and keep track of where everybody's at. And so if you're a newer coach, I typically recommend starting with private and then transitioning to group. However, everybody's different. I do have a client who has always done groups. She's been incredibly successful with it. And she loves it, and she knows how to manage it and keep it at an amount that she can manage. And so I do think you can start with it if you want, but I think it's better if you really start with private and then transition into group. One of the common beliefs, though, that I hear people say is, well, but groups are less valuable, right? I completely disagree. Groups can be more valuable even sometimes than private coaching because you can learn from others and realize questions you didn't even think to ask and be uplifted by people who are inspiring to you, who are going through the same things. And, you know, a lot of times as a coach, you're going to pick up on things your clients need to hear today that you may not have and share that with them, that you may not have picked up on if you were just coaching one person privately. So it's something where, like, my private clients get my group program included as a bonus, but you can decide if you want to keep them separate or whatever, but it can be just as valuable or more valuable than private coaching. Each one has their perks, right? Now, the next type of offer to consider in your business model is a course. So you probably heard people who offer courses. And the truth about courses is only usually 11% of people finish a course. So if you really, are starting out and you care a lot about client results, if you're going to have a course, you're going to have to navigate, how am I going to ensure people finish it? How am I going to motivate people to do the course? How am I going to keep them on a timeline to actually do it instead of letting it sit in their vault for like 3 years and never doing it? But if you are going to choose a course, then it can be a great scalable way to have an offer that gets somebody to a certain outcome or goal. It can be something very planned and structured. So if you're the kind of person who really likes to lay things out and make it step by step and teach and have videos and you love that kind of stuff, a course could be great for you and your audience. And it also is something where it's more affordable usually. So it's less than what private coaching would be because there's less personalized attention. But again, something you need to know about having a course is that, again, it's just as much work, in my opinion, as marketing private coaching or something that has a higher return and usually better results for the clients, for the less money and for less, it's a lot of work for less ROI, in my opinion. And you don't get to see the client, if they complete it or not, or that kind of thing. So there's less control. And a lot of people say, oh, it's passive income. It's not passive income. You're going to have to market your course. You're going to have a huge amount of people going through a funnel about your course. There's going to be a lot of people who just don't finish your funnel and don't sign up for your course. So you need to have a lot of leads coming in, and you got to actively be marketing. So it's not passive. And yes, the delivery could be passive, meaning you have the course created already, and so you're just kind of re-delivering that, but it's definitely not passive. So don't do that. If you're just picking a course because you think it's passive, please don't. And also, this is a different type of avatar you're marketing to. So with memberships and courses, it's a different kind of person who can do those things than somebody who does private or group coaching and needs more hand-holding and hands-on. I'm the kind of person, I'm very intrinsically motivated. I love courses. I'm like a student. I will do my courses, and it may not be the fastest. I may move faster if I have a coach keeping me accountable and checking on me and being there, but I will get to it, and I do it, and I do follow through on my courses. So that's a different person you're speaking to in your marketing language. And I think a lot of people go into creating their offer and just decide it and just be like, and just, not really think about the avatar or the person, the kind of person who needs to hear the message. And that's why their courses or their group program or whatever it is doesn't sell, is because they're like speaking to a one-on-one person and like at a luxury high ticket selling marketing language to someone for a cheap course. Like it's just a different, I'm hoping I'm making sense, but like, you gotta think this through. If you're choosing your business model and the marketing doesn't match the offer and the marketing doesn't match the audience you're trying to market it to, don't just blindly decide this because you feel like it or you saw someone else do it or you think that it's cool. That's the main message I want to drive home today. And then the last type of offer is a mastermind. So what I mean by this is something where it's less teaching. It's less like, oh, we're going to coach on a certain result. And it's more so we're going to put together a room, a container, a community of people who all share, a common lifestyle or a common attribute or a common goal or something like that, where we are going to share ideas and we are going to hold space for a community to uplift each other, to, have a positive experience towards our goals or whatever that is. So it's more of you being a facilitator of community than it is about you coming in and teaching. Now, there are masterminds that kind of combine like group coaching and masterminding. Like sometimes in the inner circle, we'll have extra time on a call or something and we'll mastermind about a certain topic. Like we'll talk, we've had times where I've had really busy clients and who are moms and who homeschool or who work or whatever. And we'll talk about like, how are they juggling it all and what's working for them and what's not and what's hard, and kind of feeling it all out with each other to help each other out. And so that is an example of a mastermind but that's not my inner circle. That's not the whole program. They're also getting, step-by-step guidance with their marketing and such. So if you're doing a mastermind, it's usually more like that. Sometimes masterminds incorporate like a live event or a retreat or something in person. But it can also be all held online. And so that would be something to think about, with the mastermind. And again, this one, unlike the courses and the memberships, masterminds usually are a more sophisticated marketing language. So it's usually people who really, really value experiences and community, and like it's not usually like for beginners, meaning typically in a mastermind, you have requirements for people to join, or you have like an application or something, like because you are responsible for creating a space where everybody feels heard and seen and like they're a fit and not like they're in the wrong place. So usually masterminds have some kind of requirements, like everybody in this mastermind has had to, be in their business for at least 2 years and made this much money, or everybody in this mastermind has to be beginners and has to only have had practice clients so far, because we're all masterminding about how to get your first clients or something like that. So if you're going to choose mastermind, you usually will have to come up with what's the criteria of who this is a fit for and who it's not a fit for. And really for any offer, you should do that. But masterminds, it's more important because if someone, if you have a container of really random people, it's not going to be a super valuable mastermind for everybody, because they're going to be like, wait, like I don't relate to these people, or we don't all share a common goal, or we're not all in the same place in our business. So I feel like I'm hearing so-and-so's experience, but my experience is way over here. So that's something to think about. So I hope that this video just kind of gives you a bit of a creative juices and some ideas. And I don't mean to crash your dreams or smash your dreams. If you were like, oh, I'm a new coach and I'm going to start a membership or a course, you can absolutely do it. But I just want you to go in knowing that, like, knowing things to think about, knowing things to consider, that kind of thing. So if you're trying to figure out your offer and you are stuck or you don't know what makes sense for your business model long term, feel free to go to haileyrowe.com and schedule a free consult with me. We can talk more about your goals and what might make sense, and planning your New Year's offer, either through my coaching one-on-one or in my group or things like that. So if it's a fit, of course. You're not obligated to sign up for anything if you book a free call. It's a free call, and we will talk about your goals and what's useful for you, and you'll walk away with some takeaways as well as how we could work together if it makes sense.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast, and if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful, and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.